Todd Medina, Soulogy One Studios. Listening to an instrumental by the legends UGK, Bun B, and Pimp C from the south side of Houston, Port Arthur, Texas. Yeah, I'm from Houston, Texas, and I know I'm biased, but the best music in the world comes out of Houston, Texas. Yeah. Got a little Soulspeak. Talking about this trip that we're all sharing. This ascension, this unveiling, apocalypse. All the horrors and all the dreams come true, wrapped up into one. This whole trip's about us getting back to us. Looking our own divinity in the eye. Here we go. Just remember, the road will always be golden. Even when your faith and the highest thing you hold and something outside yourself is shattered to pieces. Yeah. The road will still be golden even if your prophet's words prove altered with lies applied to serve the selfishness of our minds. Oh yeah. Truth is stranger than fiction. The road will still be golden if ETs descend from the skies and we discover that we were born of the light through their seeds, sharing their lineage and their lives. The road will still be golden if and when the nukes begin to fly and electricity becomes a dying dream and a renewed quest for living. The road will still be golden when science and the stars collide with Jesus and the Anunnaki as Nibiru meets the third eye. Oh yeah. The road will always be golden. And I am only certain of one thing, my own divinity, and that my place is here and now. And I know I'm golden, and I know I'm soul. Oh yeah. That was pretty cool. Well. Woo! Hey, Hank.
Hey, Todd. How are you doing? I loved your intro. It was wonderful.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
You look fantastic. Thank you. You look fantastic.
Thank you. That's nice.
You look great, man.
Yeah,
I'm just laughing because I'm looking at you and it just makes me laugh. No, because yeah. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I know. I feel like when I like you're my playmate.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
We may have done more shows together than anyone I've done shows with.
Yeah, that's nice, eh?
I think that may be true. Yeah.
Wow, that's nice.
So how's Annette? How's everybody doing?
Yeah, doing good. Working hard, and it's getting autumn now here. So it's dark really early, and we need to get adapted to it a bit.
Yeah.
This summer went so fast in my experience. But for you, yeah, you follow the sun, eh?
Well, we left Hawaii, right? You know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. We left Hawaii. What? God, has it been that long already? We left 45 days ago.
Wow.
Yeah, we're now up in Washington State near the Canadian border, and we're going to be here for I don't know, probably another 7 or 8 days.
Okay, you're going to cross the border to Canada?
No. I can't. We can't cross the border. We're actually going to go south. We're going to go to Sedona. We're going to go to Sedona for what? Probably a week. Yeah, we're going to participate in a couple of things over there, and maybe even do a little Soulogy, get together.
Nice.
With some friends, and maybe stream it. Yeah.
Wow.
When are you coming to the States, you and Annette?
Yeah, I'm not allowed to come in there anymore. Eh?
I have those same type of issues, but we're going to break.
Yeah, but you can go out.
I can't go out. You can't come in. They're keeping us from each other.
Yeah.
What the hell is this? You can't come in, and I can't get out. But you know what? We're going to change that. We're going to change this. This is not part of our reality. So, and it's coming. I mean, it's this whole shift is affecting every single thing in all the aspects of our experience, and nothing's going to be left out.
No,
nothing's going to be left out. The only things the things that will remain will be the things that we allow to remain because of our own fear. Our own, lack of belief in what we can actually alter and change. So, but it's coming. It's coming one way or the other.
Yeah.
The sooner the better, as far as I'm concerned. Hello, everybody. We got 30 people in the house.
Whoa. Hello.
Hank's flock is in the house.
Thanks. Oh.
So what's been going on? When's the last time we talked? We talked before I left Hawaii, right before I left Hawaii. So that would have been like the first week of August.
Yeah.
So then we had this 8/8 Lionsgate, and I only mentioned the names. I only mentioned these dates because of the energy. The obvious energy that had come, and then the first 10 days of September. There were some interesting dates. The 9/9, 9/11 seemed to be a really big one that stuck out. And then Friday the 13th, full moon around the world.
Yes, amazing, yeah. Yeah.
And then I believe we got 3 days left.
Yeah.
So this is what they call a palindrome. Palindrome. It's the last palindrome week or period of the entire century. So for
the cycle.
It's when you take the numbers of a date and they're the same forward as they are backward.
As they are backwards.
Yeah. So this is a palindrome. So this is I think it's from like 9/9 to 9/19. It's the last period in this entire century.
Oh, because 9 and then the 0 comes. Is that what it means?
Well, no. All those dates are the same forward as they are backward. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
So, and this being the last week that will actually occur in this entire century, which is mind-blowing to me. I mean, that means it's not going to happen again for at least another 81 years. But anyway, the energetic, synchronicity of that, the energetic impact of that is what I'm really, pointing at.
Yeah.
So anyway, how have the last few weeks been for you? I mean, have you had any noticeable changes in yourself, in your relationship, in your, overall? What's been going on?
What I'm trying to do is to ground things more and more, and that is difficult because it is hard to integrate the soul into the world. It's inside myself, but it wants to express itself through me to others in the creativity. But there's sort of a boundary. It's difficult to break through to some people around me. Sometimes they really don't understand what I'm talking about. Well, it's just okay. Maybe sometimes I talk nonsense, but it usually I think it's just clear as whatever. But
well, welcome to the club.
Yeah.
So we're brothers and in a lot of ways. But that's interesting what you said. Most of the time, people talk about embodying. They're talking about, taking in this information, sacred wisdom, transmissions, downloads from multi-dimensional aspects or higher dimensions, or however you want to put it,
Yeah.
And you said, which I had never heard that before. Obviously, it's probably the same thing, but how do you embody the soul into this earth? How do you embody the soul into your experience?
Yes.
Which I guess is maybe the same thing as embodying your higher self into the experience.
Yeah, it wants to manifest itself and in that way get really intimate contact with others. But it is as if, I think some things you have to had experienced before you can understand them, because we have had experienced them. It's normal for us. So with Annette, she said, those memories about former lives. To us, it is just normal. For me, it's just a memory, like a memory, and I see the effect it has will be in this life. So that, but for her, there is still a doubt, and then I think I don't talk much about it, but then I think, she doesn't even think that it's true when I'm saying that.
Right.
So that is strange to experience. Yeah. And I think many people have that. You want to explain or talk about something and how things work, because there's a whole pattern around it. And it's a logical, it's very logical. But yeah. And that is strange because Annette also has very strong experiences.
Of the
but
memories?
Then, with Kundalini.
Oh, Kundalini.
And with energy exchange, with she's doing massages and with transmitting energy.
Oh, let's go back. Let's go back to that one. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. No, but in a minute, because you hit something else. You hit something else, and for some reason, I gotta extend the conversation on it.
Yeah.
So you talked about embodying the soul and the challenge, right? that creates embodying the soul, embodying the higher self, and then you talked about creativity.
Yeah.
And I think this is something that must be out there. And I thought, well, maybe in my own experience, that maybe this was the masculine trying to come out. Maybe it was the sexual energy trying to come out, the sacred sexual energy, right?
Yeah.
In expression. And again, everything that we knew, we're not taking with us, right? This is why, for instance, we no longer, we're on this path, and we're just in nursery school as far as it goes, but we've talked about it. So just for example, the old 3D sex versus the new 5D sacred sex, or the new ancient, sacred sex of old. So the same thing occurs. So I'm looking at it, right? And when you said that, and what the things have been happening to me actually for the last few months, is maybe it's not a gender thing. Maybe this is part of the embodying of the soul or the higher self, or the sacred wisdom and all that, is new forms of creativity, new forms of expression for the sacred sexual vibration, the Kundalini, whatever, the chi, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And it's not a gender related thing. It's just new expressions. We're used to doing things in other ways.
Yes.
And either we're going to refine those expressions, such as artistic expressions.
Yes. Music, poetry, writing.
Yeah.
But that doesn't get appreciated as much as it was always been all the time. The beauty of it can not be seen or experienced by anyone. Yeah. For some, it's just words. They don't have a deeper meaning. For some, music doesn't create a feeling that we sometimes can get.
Yeah. Yeah.
But just talking to someone from a totally different way of experiencing things, and that's difficult.
Yeah.
Because it's like really living in another reality almost. And the creativity part, how I feel it is, first it was more the manifesting power, the sexual power wants to manifest itself in an enormous drive to create things in on the earth to make it better, to make it nicer, to make music, to make poetry, to make paintings and whatever, and celebrate it. But the time is there that it is possible. But what would really help is when people we need something needs to be. It's the joy in and of yourself, but it is nicer if it is heard, if it is
shared.
If it is reaching out, it is shared. Yes. Yes.
So if we look at it energetically, okay, and we know that these what we're calling sacred sexual energy, Kundalini energy, whatever you want to call it, is creation energy. Right?
Yeah,
it is creation energy. So in the physical realm that we've been in, we had conditioning and programming, and in the physical representation of that energy, we were having that creation energy created procreation, created babies, created children, but it was also used to have, let's just say, 3D sex, and a finite creative, a limited creation, I guess, in a way, and we know that was distorted and such. So it only makes sense that if the physical intimacy is shifting from this 3D sex about performance and agenda and disempowerment.
Yes, and creating together also.
Yeah, but it's converting to sacred sex, which is a whole nother ball game, which is a multi-dimensional ball game. It would also make sense that our former methods of utilizing our sexual energy through other types of expressions is going to change too, right? And I think that's where some of this is coming in regard to how do we build, you're an author. How do you write a book? How do you market a book? How do you get it out there versus how it used to be done? There's got to be a new and better way to do it, a 5D-ish type of way. Same with like an organization, an energy like Soulogy. How do you build that? What does it look like? What are the methods and the core values and to me it affects everything. It all changes.
Yes,
and I don't have the answer. We're over here looking for the answer, but
you're already doing it for a great deal with your daily shows now, because it is expanding, and it's spreading across a lot of the whole spiritual world. And it is nice that things start to roll, and like if it is one organism, everyone finds his place in that, where he or she feels good or whatever, is happy. Just like Lindsay, she likes to organize. She's now in Turkey. She's on Mount Olympus, and she's really trying to make a party there in the end of the year. In the
Turkey.
It's nice in Turkey. Yes, maybe it's nice to come. Mount Olympus.
Mount Olympus is in Turkey.
Yes.
I didn't know that. I thought it was in Greece. I don't know why.
Yeah. There is also a Mount Olympus. Yes.
Oh, there's two. Okay. So she's over there trying to put a party together, like she did over in Amsterdam.
Yeah, but yes, and she is doing it, and she really likes that, and she can really structurize the setup of the party to the detail, the things that someone else doesn't think about, but another person does the light show, the music, the speakers, things like that. And then you create a dynamic that attracts like-minded people, and other people too. They get curious. They cannot get around it anymore.
I like that. I like that. The thing about doing what you like. That's part of the equation.
Yeah.
And then if we look at some of the other factors that have been popping up, okay, so for instance, and we use it as a metaphor or an analogy. So if you look at, for instance, again, the basic physical representation of sexual energy interaction creation, you got the physical 3D intimacy. Lust is no longer working. Lust is an agenda-based, type of
it's a lower
frequency.
kind of grabbing
So
energy.
So if you transfer that and you take it out the physical intimacy part of it, because that's easy. Lust, then that leaves the space for the 5D type of experience and growth. But then you take it to okay, like Lindsay, that's a perfect example. She goes to Mount Olympus, she's putting a party together, a gathering. This is not the energy of lust. This is the energy of I love doing this. Right?
Yes, of love, of creation. And she sets something on the earth with that can grow. It's not a temporary experience of wanting someone to feel whole or one with, but it is creating actually a third party with it. And then you can create a really good, strong energy, like it is also with Soulogy. That is that is a dynamic around that starts to radiate on its own, and then it starts to live, and it becomes bigger than all the things together.
Yeah.
And that's wonderful. And then people take easier that step towards. I noticed that already, that it's easier for a lot of people to talk about, but I'm of course impatient and want to push it, and that is maybe the old way, that
exactly. We were just talking about this. Well, we've actually been talking about this off and on for a long time, but we were just talking about this with a friend last night. And I'm not going to say I am the same way anymore, because I'm not. Because I've proven that to myself over the last about 6 months. I'm not pushing it. Where before I pushed it and things were created, but it was not a smooth ascending frequency. It was up and down, and you'd have a little spike, but there was highs and lows.
Yeah,
and I would say
that is just like life is growing. It grows slowly. It expands, and you cannot push it, because then you kill it. And
so if you don't push it, which is what I had a hard time trying not to push it. But then you back totally off, and you actually see what I saw anyway was you still had some fluctuations, but that line was very steady and deliberate, and you could see the magic flow. So we went a little bit deeper in it. We've been talking about it on the shows, and just through the conversations Morgan and I have, and the experiences we have, and the intel she pulls down. The energy of agenda, the energy of obligation, right? You could take that back to the 3D intimacy. If there's agenda, if there's obligation, which both of those energies were present in the 3D sexual intimacy. Somebody wanted something. Somebody felt like they had to give something. And what she came up with the other day, I don't know if I haven't said it exactly right, but when there's that energy present in one or both, there is no energy, there is an inability to receive. You can't receive when there's agenda and or obligation present. So if we put that into the other non-physical intimacy aspects of sexual energy and expression of sexual energy in the new earth, then that means agenda and obligation cannot be present, okay? Because the whole idea is to give and for it to be received. And it can only be received when those frequencies, agenda and obligation, are not there. So like Lindsay,
then it goes automatically, sort of.
Yeah, and Lindsay just said it here. She said a few comments. She said sharing, anchoring, creating from the heart, from the soul. She says it flows but we keep on going guided when pure guided from the soul, and you know it when it's there. And then and that's true, because when you let go, you can actually see it happening, you know.
Yeah,
and we're all learning, so there is going to be a little, up and down to it, but
it's difficult to let go, especially when things go good and you think, ooh, you want to give it a little push and get impatient. And
well, here's another factor she just said. Took the words right out of my mouth. She said, we're spot on, guys. It doesn't work anymore. The soul, the higher self, won't allow it any longer.
yeah, that's right.
And that's happening too. So we're either making the choice to consciously remove agenda and obligation, which is in the nitty gritty minutia of our experience, these subtle things that are in our makeup because of the conditioning.
Yes.
But then the other fact, so we're consciously able to help and expand the situation. But the other thing is, like she said, the universal energy, the higher self, is not allowing it anymore.
No, we can't get away with it anymore, because it's immediately the results are seen of it.
Or it gets stopped.
Yeah, and that is, I think that is good, because it is sort of humbling and in a good way. Because if it goes really fast, really good, then then other dynamics can, but this is very good to start to get used with it and to recognize it when it happens, and at a certain point it won't happen anymore, because that is totally dissolved.
Yeah.
For 99%.
Yeah. I mean, this is helping me. We had a long conversation last night that actually helped me. I'm still trying to digest it in regard to this type of thing, which is really, okay, so if you look at Lindsay, she's taking action.
Yes, she went on her own to Turkey, and she did it. She was for half a year cocooning in her house, and then she made the step, and then she broke out of her eggshell, and she really you see it happening. So
and I think and
that's the power we have to sort of we can stimulate that a lot.
That's what I was getting at. Yeah. So when we do that, it expands the collective energy. It certainly expands our own field. And I think where we're at is because there's not a script, there's not an owner's manual already in place. There's not a template that's going to survive what we do. In other words, we're going to take whatever templates were there, we're going to expand on it. But when we take the action,
create something new.
We really can't do anything wrong, but we're going to learn what to do, and we're going to refine it as we do it. So I think we're at a point now. This is what we were talking about last night. I was really listening to this part of it, the part where when you take these actions, in other words, it's time to come out.
Yeah,
and that means not just come out of the closet as, I'm a light worker, I'm a starseed, but to come out and say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that.
It needs some action, and really, and not, to do it with each other, for each other, also with that dynamic, that creational energy, and put it into words. So then you create new templates and new, more complex, dynamic, more beautiful energies that also maybe wants to be expressed in the natural world, in words, and want to show themselves, want to become flesh for a while, want to live. And it's also important to do it in a playful way. So what you say, we cannot make mistakes, is very good, because otherwise we take it too serious, and then
But I do think that one of the things, at least that served in my situation, my experience, has been what you brought up a while ago, which is used to be, you rush into it, we're going to do it, you have the motivation, you have the inspiration, you're going to go do it right now, right? You're not waiting. And for me, I've learned the value of sitting and doing nothing with the given situation, and seeing the value of that, and not being afraid to wait a little bit longer until things align and it resonates and feels right, versus jumping in there too quickly, like you were talking about.
Yeah, yeah. And can you imagine when there's a field of people that understand that energy and trust in that, because it's also the surroundings that can pull me sometimes in the weaker moments out of that state.
Yeah.
Like they cannot take me out of it anymore, but it can be enhanced much more. And it happens sometimes already with the people that go into it. But for them, if they are not used to that, then they also have to go to an experience of wanting to destroying it voluntary or unconsciously. And then it feels like, we have to begin all over again, just when everything went good. And then there's going to be a power plays and the old dynamics. But that's also because they are very strong and they are ingrained in.
They are. I love what Lindsay says here. She says, yes, when it is being pushed, you feel the solar plexus cramping. And
yes. Yeah.
And she says, get the fuck out then and wait till the next creative wave we get from soul, and it will come.
Yeah.
And it comes faster and faster because of the day-to-day anchoring that we're all doing, light, soul, higher self, love. So this is very true. This is very true, and goes back to what I find myself saying a lot on this show, which is, as we discuss these things and as we work these things out and as we appraise the situations and the experience, give ourselves some credit and give each other some credit. But she's making a very good point. The more it is getting faster and faster, the clarity is coming quicker and quicker, because we're actually anchoring this stuff every day by taking those actions like she's taking. We can't be afraid to take these actions at some point.
Yes. Yeah, and also maybe, at least in me, some unresolved parts that feel they can be creative, but they can also feel turn the other way and then get sort of destructive.
Yeah.
And that is also a creative force, but it's as if it is waiting for a moment to take a sort of a revenge. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, maybe it sounds great.
Explain that.
Then building something up again, and then it starts to work, and then it's like, and then those old dynamics start to come again. Sort of destructive energy.
Yeah. So that's a good point. Yeah. So you're like I know because I've talked about it. All these start and stops with Soulogy, right? And I would use the term, then we blow it up and start over again.
Yeah. Yes. That's it.
But the thing is each time it happened, when it comes back, it's a little bit purer.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's a little bit more aligned. It's a little, the whole frequency gets raised. And we were talking about this last night too. If we try to measure our quote unquote success, based on the old paradigm, like how much money you have in the bank, how many people are in the organization, whatever it is, and it's a measurement from the old paradigm, the 3D, we're going to lose, because this is a new dimension. There's a new field of measurement, which really all of it is non-physical. Abundance is not, there is a correlation in the physical experience, but abundance is not a physical thing. Abundance is many, many, many things. We might think of money or a roof over our head, but also opportunities, relationships, people, places.
The inner state and the consciousness of the possibilities that are there in the field always, that are getting narrowed down when those solar plexus cramps up, and then we don't see them anymore, and then it gets explosive, and then but what you say then I can go into that because I think because I cannot act anymore. So perhaps maybe, but when I go deep, I come out more clear.
Yeah.
More purified, more, but there's still some layers that can be.
Of course. Yeah. I forgot what happened. What happened to me? Every time something else had happened to me, but something happened to me this morning. So we were talking with our friend that visited us, Hung Win from Canada. She came down to visit. Beautiful lady, beautiful. So something happened. So we were talking about care, what happens when you sustain, the frequency we might call 5D or whatever, and how that feels, right? And one of the things, and people talked about it on this show, they talk about you get to a point, in fact, I think you've talked about it, where you're almost emotionless, where, where you're seeing things from a higher perspective and you're not caught up in the deep emotions of anger, sadness, right?
Yeah.
And I've heard a lot of people say, and you almost feel insensitive. You almost feel like an asshole because you don't, but you are coming from a higher level of compassion. It's just not the old, the old 3D
you don't get tricked in the whole play of,
But the reason I bring that up is because of what you said, because there are always more layers, right? And so I'm really careful about now, because many times I tell Morgan, oh, I've cleared, that's it. And she's like, are you sure about that? then the next day. So last night we were talking and in the conversation, it came up about crying. And I said, man, I can't remember the last time I cried,
I remember the last time on the show, but it's almost a year ago, I think.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, half a year or something.
I don't know, but so I just had made that comment, and something in my head kind of went, you're not over that yet. You're not at the level you think you're at. So this morning we're sitting around talking at the kitchen table, and I was just talking about, my friend was asking me about my family, my kids, and my journey, my relationship with them. I was talking about this, and right in the middle of telling this story, which I probably told to maybe 10 times, or I haven't had this conversation with too many people, but 10 or 15 times, right when I'm telling this story and I'm talking about one of my kids, my youngest kid, and relaying.
Your daughter?
Yeah, my youngest kid is and youngest daughter as well. And right when I just right mid-sentence, man, boom, it hit. Like the stinging came really hard. And I was like, I'm like, what is this? And I just looked at him, I put my hand up, and they were like, go ahead and continue. And I said, I can't. Morgan, you finish the story. I had to go in the bathroom, and I didn't bawl or anything, but it just came up. Something came up.
It's strange, that it's so, and then you feel the twitching in the.
Yeah, but the point being, there's layers. There's still layers. There's always going to be layers.
Yes.
Yeah. Even
I have it sometimes also from beautiful things. Also, there was a guy telling that he was almost 70 years married. An older guy, was 92 years he was.
Yeah.
And his wife died 3 months before they were 70 years married.
Oh, wow.
And but he said that he every day he realized how lucky he was, and how he appreciated life and how beautiful it was, because he went to the war and everything, and went to Indonesia as a soldier, and then that also sort of touched me. But what touched me was the beauty of that guy that went through so much and was still enjoying his life, and he had a guitar, and he was that's so wonderful. You don't need so many of those people who went through all this stuff and really see the value of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That frequency vibration has been coming on stronger and stronger every day. I had it really strong this morning. What I'm talking about is that appreciation, that love in the air kind of thing. That in fact, we were talking about it a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about the presence of it, and we were talking about how in our relationship we don't have to say, and we don't say I love you all the time, or things like that. But
Yeah, the confirmation.
It's known, but it's known and it's understood, right?
Yeah, but
So
because
like,
you're totally in the moment all the time, so
yeah.
it's continually really touching and being with each other. So yeah, there's no need for some mental confirmation all the time. Yeah, that's really a poorer state of being together, and you see that a lot. That people only live in mental concepts of the reality, and usually of how it was, and so there is not much place for new things in them. And they are missing so much happiness, and and that's, I think, what we also, because it is so close and you want to share it with them, you want to give it to them, you want to show it, but that's sometimes, and that's also something you cannot push.
I don't think we can push anything anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything you can push anymore.
No.
There's no push to it. There's
you cannot push it in them. You have to love the world, and
even this sacred sex thing, which again is a physical representation at the core. Even that, there's the thrusting doesn't work. The pushing doesn't work. It's a mutual experience. It's meeting in the middle. It's no force. There's an unnatural naturalness, and what I mean by that is it's unnatural to us. It's in our memory bank. It's in our old DNA. And then maybe it is being reopened but it's unnatural to the human. It's natural to the soul, or natural to the energy body.
I think that is maybe also the divine part that is manifesting itself in the world, and experiencing it in a more because there is also the contrast in that experience in a more intense way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
the less. Okay, so like, and I know we talked about this, but I'm using this as a metaphor, right? This is a metaphor for the sexual energy in the entirety and totality of our experience every day, no matter what we're doing. So, in the sacred sexual interludes that we've had, there is less force. There's less perspiration. There's less energy, physical energy, moving around and fast motions. It's not like that. It's the opposite of that. And the energetic impact of it is light years away from what we've experienced. So that same thing would apply to our daily routine in life. If we're pushing and forcing, and exerting a lot of energy, we're blocking the flow.
Yeah,
it's a mirror or an energetic example or imprint. Really, it's a template. It's a template.
Wow, that's beautiful. I see it really clear now. Yeah.
Well, that's why I love this show, because it's just about talking and just like we did last night with our friend. You talk and you talk and you talk and you get somewhere with it.
Yeah, exchange information, and it's a field of consciousness. It's a field of information, and it's also what I experienced then. The orgasmic force that also has a sort of a destructive and that energy, but that energy can be so strong, and if it goes on for for weeks, then and then you can start to create really manifest really good. That difference is so good,
Yeah.
so big.
Yeah.
But what Annette had, she had some experience that she was in heaven on earth because of me. In heaven on earth because of the energy and totally in the nothingness and totally for hours and hours and hours.
Wow.
And
Now
but
how did this happen?
then she comes back.
Yeah.
And then the reality as it was is suddenly a lot harder and a lot. And if you get then in the old paradigm, do they call it that, or the old?
Yeah. 3D.
Of
3D.
then then they feel like they have lost something and they want to have it back. And then it was so good, and now it's gone. And it never comes because it is, they cannot see it, they cannot touch it, because it was the state, the state of a heavenly state where they are in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and isn't that how it works? You know, we peak our, you know, we take a peak or we land in that space, and be it for a day or a week or a month, and
it
then,
has to have.
then it pulls back, and then then that's our motivation, that's our target, that's our destination, to get back to that place and sustain that vibration for you know, extended period of time, and hopefully in perpetuity. You know. But I mean, I think that's what's happening collectively. So like what you're describing, I think happens to everybody in different, you know, different linear segments of linear time. You know, like I said, it's different time lengths. But so that just recently happened to her. What caused it? I mean, was it a sacred sexual experience, or you had mentioned earlier that she's been feeling the Kundalini when she's doing the massaging and that type of thing? How did it happen?
Yeah, that was a sexual experience, but then more in the an intimate way that is more about total surrendering and not being aware of the body anymore. The body does things by itself, and it went on for hours, that sort of orgasmic state. But after that there's always a coming down from it. But what I was telling her, because that is also scary, that it is like a activation of the body, and a whole lot of new information also comes in, and you can become more vulnerable. You can become more the powers, telepathic powers, or something you're specialized in that can grow also with that. And then then also that it's the same. Then we want to cling to that state. Because I'm in the state of more in the nothingness, I don't get affected by it. Good health. And that then when it is bad, I don't go totally in it, sometimes a little. And when it is super great, because sometimes when good things happen, then she said, but why are you not happy now? But that is not affected so much anymore by the things that you gain or that succeed. Well, the inner state is very subtle, and you are aware of those ups and downs, and the beauty of it. Especially, I think the downs are what is catharsis. How do you call it?
Catharsis. I mean, because you know what? I mean, look, it's just like, you know, people talk about it. You can't take all of this in one moment. It would fry us, you know. So you need that downtime to integrate. You know, I mean, you know, some of the forecast that people have put out there Franco De Nicola, Jason Estes, Amanda Lawrence, talking about this period of time we're in right now, September. Talk about the first part of this month was about integration, like letting everything that's came in this year and specifically last month, let it all come in and integrate and balance, because it does have a huge effect on our physiology, you know?
Oh, yes.
And
yes.
so then it kicks up again, which, you know, based on some of the stuff that I'm following, it looks like it's going to be kicking up, you know, from today, tomorrow forward for a while, which is exciting. And then you bringing up this thing about the Kundalini, we've pretty much always associated that. I'm talking about in the common daily routine of our lives with sexual, you know, sexual encounters or sexual feelings or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But now, I have a funny Hank story, but now that that these shifts and elevations are coming and activations are coming, they generate that Kundalini in just the normal parts of the day, right?
Yes.
Because I remember about, I don't know where it was exactly, but 2-3 weeks ago, I think we were in Ventura, and I was going through some stuff, and I got activated, and I told Morgan, I said, I think I'm going to Hank in my pants.
Yeah.
When we first met, and you told that story.
Yeah. Like the orgasm during the meditation that I couldn't almost hold. But then, did you feel it getting higher and inside your body?
You know, it wasn't the first time, but
No.
But what happened was, that's a great question. So what happened was, it was not the first time it had happened to me. Certainly not hanging around her. You know what I mean? But it was the most physical. You know what I mean? It was the most physical time. So it was, you know, physically became what would be classified as very aroused, very quick, and it felt like I was about to physically have an orgasm.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what happened, because I said something to her, and I don't know if she said it or if I just knew, because, you know, I'd been instructed before, and I started to breathe, and it went up just like that.
Yeah.
And it didn't go, like, it didn't get orgasmic in the other chakras. I felt it go into my sacral and into my solar, and kind of up into my heart, and then it just kind of, you know, like spread out.
Yeah, and then you
I guess I did feel it, but it wasn't like an orgasmic thing. You know?
Yeah.
But I was laughing because I said, "Oh my God, now I know how Hank felt."
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's strange because the way you lose control, because it's really carry as a life of its own.
But
an intelligence.
But the point being that these things are happening, and people are starting to be able to understand that this energy is much more than we utilized it for. Number one, and it actually,
is a divine energy.
Yeah, that's nothing. What we did with it was nothing.
No,
what we did was with it was nothing. It was like a waste, and now it's something that's being reintroduced into our existence, and that is the root of our power on a personal level, and the possibilities are limitless.
Yeah, and then we can manifest the things, the energy and the soul with that, and create sort of energetic works of love and light and energy.
Yeah. Co-creation, collaboration.
Yes.
So I guess one of us is going to have to figure out something. I know that my situation and my absolute freedom to roam this earth is coming very, very quickly. And
there are always escape routes, but then
that would be my preference, but that's not the world I live in anymore. So
no,
I'm going to do this energetically, and that's what I'm doing. And I know that there's others doing it. I know this is a big part of the for lack of a better word, the infrastructure of the matrix to break down is for us energetically to transform it, you know.
Yeah,
And,
I think
yeah,
that's
so-
why it's also put in that place, because it's sort of energetic boundary
Right.
that is illusionary, and
Yeah.
it's nice to grow over that it is unstoppable
Mhm.
to not go in there or go out there.
Yeah.
Because it's imaginary, and in fact we are now already. I am there and you are here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. So we'll be coming to Amsterdam eventually.
Yeah, yes.
We'll
Yeah, I'm going to arrange some things, and I'm going to be patient with the new projects.
Yeah. Thank you, and thank you for reminding me of that too. But I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job with that now.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
feel like I'm forcing anything. I see the value of waiting. I still get a little bit, a little bit excited, and let's do it. But
But it's a positive drive.
yeah, I mean, you can't. I'm not going to damn myself for that. But the thing is, but yeah, I think that's the key word. Patience is a key word, and it's something. I think
to find a balance between action and stillness and creation.
It's a new world. It's a new world.
Yeah.
And so everything's new. Every single thing is new. Relationships are new. How we go to work is new. Every single thing is new.
Yeah, that's how I feel it also. Like it's all a total, every time a new birth in this reality, in the here and now.
Yeah.
So that's why it's never boring. And there's so much to do and possibilities. So that you almost can be impatient about it again.
Yeah.
But that's just learning to deal with it, to play with it.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on, man. Want to do this again another month?
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah. We're going to be heading out in about 8 days? 8 days? Yeah, I think 8 days. And just we're going to head to Sedona. We're going to participate in a couple of things over there. You can't plan too far ahead, but
No, it's difficult, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, Morgan just communicated with Laura Eisenhower, who's pretty well known in these circles and been out there for quite some time. And we're going to do a show with her Friday, the 20th. So what's that? 4 days from now. Nice. So that'd be about 7 p.m. New York time. That would be midnight in London and mid-morning down under. So that'll be a big moment. She's got a very strong following. She's been out there doing this work for a long time, back when there wasn't a lot of people publicly coming at the level she did. Yeah.
Is she family of the other?
Yeah. She's a great what is it? The great granddaughter of President Dwight Eisenhower. Yeah.
Wow.
And she's got a pretty phenomenal story. She's I know some of her story because I've watched some of her videos. She was selected to be in the Mars space program, which she declined. And she's just
to go to Mars.
Yeah, this is the government doesn't
to colonize it.
She was part. She was asked to do that and other things, and so she's a whistleblower. She's also intuitive and a lot of different things. Very, very
interesting.
Very committed. Very committed to humanity. So that'll be great.
Wonderful.
And we've got a bunch of other stuff going on. It's really gotten more fluid, and I think it's a reflection of what's happening for everybody. Things are falling into place, flowing better. Being aware of the things that we talked about on the show for the last hour. I mean,
it was this year also. This year of turbulence and integration and big shifts. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, man, I appreciate you, brother. I'll see you in another 3 or 4 weeks and tell Annette thank you for everything and
Yeah, same
best of
to
both of
you,
you.
Morgan, and everyone, and all the watchers and Soulogy fans. Okay.
care.
See you later, Todd.
All right, man. See you
Happy to
later.
see you.
Happy to see you too. Bye-bye.